Imagine you're walking through a beautiful forest. What do you see? What do you experience? Do you notice the bunnies hopping across the path? Do you notice the deer foraging off in the distance? Do you notice the snake slithering in the underbrush? This is your understory. Your understory is a canvas of all the perceptions, the activities, and the behaviors that create the value of what you do within your life. That understory isn't the only thing you experience in a forest. If you look up, you see something different besides blinding lights. Maybe you'll see the birds dancing. Maybe you'll see the sunlight refracting. Maybe you'll even see the canopy formed by trees that are protecting everything under that story. That is your overstory. Your overstory is invisible yet omnipresent. Overstories nurture understories. Understories supports overstories. Fortunately, these tortoise stories, they are great as metaphors outside of the workplace. Every overstory helps filter our opportunities and our perceptions to create a lens through which we see the world. The problem is, we only see the lens through the world that we see. Our people see something very different. How many of you know someone that spent their entire career climbing a corporate ladder and then found out they were redundant? So do our people. And when our people find that out, they are not happy. Our people sometimes realize that the overstories we're telling them are not supported by the understories that they're living out. And they act up. When they act up, they act out, and they create tension within our workplaces. Now, I tell you that to tell you this. Sometimes the easiest thing we can do is just to change the wording and change how we refer to our understories and overstories. Sometimes we aren't sowing the seeds of possibilities, we're sowing the seeds of doubt. Every one of us at some point throughout our HR career has had somebody come to them and say, I think you're the problem. I think that you're the one that's causing us the trouble. Now, nobody in this room could possibly be that guy, right? Nobody here could be them. But if you look at the relationship that we have with our people, sometimes it's not necessarily the thing that we want. As we're going through forcing our understories on people, we realize that what worked for us doesn't work for them. We entered a contest. Sometimes we lost. And what that means is that our people dedicated their lives to us only to find that they weren't there anymore, only that they weren't important to us anymore. When we write an understory and an overstory that is toxic, we get toxicity back. Yes, that's only part of a word. Maybe you know what that says. We've created cultures at times that we thought were helping, but were actually hurting us. Somehow, the concept of HR has grown into become the adult version of the principal's office. When people get called to us, what do they say? Oh, I must have won a prize. No, they say, oh shit, what now? Our people don't want to be depreciated in life, they want to be appreciated in life. They want to look at us with a longing, and we look at them with a longing that they matter to our lives. Business is very simple. It's about relationships. It's about building a relationship between us and a customer to satisfy a need. Unfortunately, that relationship can get fractured very easily. When your overstory poisons your understory and your understory doesn't support your overstory, all of a sudden you have no story to tell. What we've done in the past is just double down on trying to do things better, faster, more efficiently. We offer more benefits. We offer more pay. We try to buy loyalty. And all we end up buying is a reputation for not necessarily being in tune. We're at a point now where the youngest generation looks at the organizational chart not as somewhere they want to go, but something they want to avoid. They're looking at corporate America and our jobs as something to avoid at all costs. But imagine what we could do if we aligned what we did with what we said and who we were. What if HR wasn't HR? What if it wasn't a human resource? What if HR was something that was loved and not hated? All of us have the opportunity to tell a story to ourselves. Sometimes that story helps, sometimes that story hurts. Sometimes the story makes us grow. Maybe when you leave here today, the true disruption of HR is to stop calling us HR and to start looking at the story you can tell as opposed to the one you were told to tell.